All right. Hey guys, let's get started. Welcome to Webinar Wednesday, the place to be for tips to grow your online community. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We have a new face with us today. If this is your first time with us, that's me, Jason, there on the left. We're lucky to have a new face with us today, Rick Martinez, who's one of the support specialists here at Brilliant Directories. I think one of the more experienced support specialists, so we're lucky to have Rick with us today on the webinar. And of course, Patrick Brunelle, who has some of the best advice, tips, and strategies to hack and grow your way to a successful and profitable online directory website. So guys, thanks for taking the time to join us today in the webinar.
Always a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Jason. Good to be here.
All right. And I always like to mention, if you haven't already done so, please just take a moment, 30 seconds right now to join our Facebook group. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook. It's a great place to continue the conversations after Webinar Wednesday is over. There's so much participation in there, lots of great discussions, ideas, and it's just really nice to see that there's so much activity coming from everyone and the amazing ideas that everyone's sharing. So you can go to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook, and we can carry the conversations there after the webinar. And if this is your first time joining Webinar Wednesday, maybe you're new to Brilliant Directories, maybe you've been with us for a while and just got one of our reminder emails to join, welcome. It really is great to be with you guys here today. Webinar Wednesday is created to help you guys achieve success with your online directories. Now, a lot of that could be during setup and configuring your site, but in Webinar Wednesday, we cover that a little bit, but we want to have a stronger focus on helping you market your site, helping you convert website visitors, increasing traffic, identifying revenue opportunities that's right for your industry and ripe for your industry as well. And I really like to talk about search engine optimization topics, and a lot of things actually fall into the category of improving your website's navigation, the user experience, how they interact with your site. It's amazing how simple and small changes can change your conversion rates from 0 all the way up to 100%. So if you have questions on how to improve your site, maybe you're looking to enhance your site or you're coming across some hurdles, save those questions and we'll take them towards the end of the webinar. And also with that, as a reminder, you always have the Brilliant Directory support team behind you. If you're having issues with your site or stuck or something's not working, those are great times to contact the Brilliant Directories support team. And just know that we're here to help you. You can email support@brilliantdirectories.com. And if you have how-to questions or you want to report a known issue, it's just a way to help you guys out and also make the software better for everyone. And if you joined us last webinar, we had 2 pages of BD Lab updates to cover. This webinar, we're going to dive right into the tip of the week. And this was actually Pat's recommendation. We were talking about the benefits of giving free member accounts, and we started snowballing into a conversation about just freemium plans and freemium models in general. So Pat, I was hoping maybe you could tell us a little bit about the tip of the week and what we're probably going to cover today.
Absolutely, Jason. Yeah, I'm definitely an advocate of this. It definitely depends on the type of directory business that you're running, but you can do a lot of out-of-the-box thinking when you're looking at applying a freemium strategy. And basically, a freemium strategy, of course, is allowing somebody to experience what it is you have to offer them and not having to pay for it, either ever or initially, or giving them a trial. We'll go into some different examples of what freemium plans are, and then we'll get very specific at the end and actually give you guys some specific examples of freemium strategies you can use with a directory business.
And just before we get into the presentation, by a show of hands, if you want to use the raise your hand feature, how many of you are already familiar with what a freemium model is, or maybe you're using a freemium strategy on your website? If you just want to raise your hand there, I can kind of get a quick count of how many people are familiar or are using a freemium model. I see Hima's raising her hand, and Jacob and Esther. That's great. And Rick, So I'd say about 25% of us here know what a freemium plan is or are using a freemium plan. So that's pretty good because we have a lot to share with you as far as educating you about the benefits and how you can apply it to your website. So let's dive right into it here. So Patrick, what does freemium mean? Because basically to me it sounds like I'm not going to make any money. So how does this benefit my website?
Yeah, so basically, basically, freemium is giving somebody an opportunity to experience something before you ask them to give something in return. It's definitely in line with this entire inbound marketing strategy, which means that you're going to show your value before you ask somebody to give you their credit card. Almost all the online marketing companies now are going in that direction. They realize there's so many choices out there. There's so much competition out there. If your website is pay to play right from the get-go, and that's where the conversation starts, it's very difficult to enter a new market if you haven't been around and it's a startup and you're just launching. That can often be the sticking point, and people leaving your website are not willing to give you their credit card information, pay to try out what you have to offer. So the freemium basically gives somebody an opportunity to take it out for a spin.
And how would this apply to Brilliant Directories websites? Are there ways to give things for free? I know you can make a free membership level, but is that the only thing that comes to mind?
There's lots of things that you can give away for free. You can give services away for free. When it comes to the Brilliant Directories platform itself, you can give features for free. So there can be premium features that you give somebody an opportunity to try out that at a later time they have to use, they have to pay to use, or perhaps you can give away leads or business or different tools such as those.
Awesome. All right, let's dig a little deeper here and peel this onion back a bit more. So again, like I mentioned, Pat, when I hear freemium, it sounds like I'm not going to make any money. So what exactly are the benefits of a freemium model?
So yeah, so by offering, if you can kind of visualize what a funnel looks like, the first thing that freemium does is it makes that initial funnel much wider, meaning you capture a lot more emails if you make the point of entry easy to start with, meaning that it's free. The moment you make the point of entry more complicated by adding a credit card form and collecting credit card information or charging, at that point, basically you've reduced your lead funnel, and basically you're only attracting customers. So you'll never know how many potential customers you may have been able to sway by allowing them to come in for free. So you're increasing the amount of people that are going to sign up, and you're also increasing the confidence that they're going to have in your brand. Because if I'm so confident what I have to offer is great, and I let you try it for free, or I give you access to some really good tools free out of the gates, that I'm showing you that I'm so confident what I have to offer that I can afford to give you some free services. Because if that experience is a good one, imagine what the paid premium experience would be like.
The one that stands out for me on this list is number 3, is the increase of word of mouth. Because as the title says here, it helps make your job easier, because when something's free to try, obviously inherently more people can give it a spin. And if they're having a good experience with the product and there's no pressure of having to pay, they're more likely to tell friends, families, and colleagues about the product or service that you're offering. So they're doing a lot of the marketing work for you, and that actually saves you money over time. So I can definitely see how, even though you're giving something for free, one, it will eventually lead to more paying members, because as you mentioned, there's more people coming in from that top funnel. But once they're in the funnel, they start doing some of the legwork for you to promote your brand and your service. So I see a lot of value with number 3 here.
No, that's a great one for sure.
All right, so it's one of those things where I think we've all, only 25% of people raise their hand that they know what a freemium model is or are using a freemium model, but probably freemium models are around us everywhere. Is that right?
I would say once you start recognizing the business plan, you realize that, again, almost all online services offer some form of freemium services.
Let's take a look at a couple of these. I know a lot of us are familiar with Yelp, where you can search for businesses. Yelp has a business model where they charge businesses to get additional visibility on their site and become like a sponsored listing or a featured listing. But it all starts with, and let me toggle over to my web browser here. Let's see. You had sent me a link, Pat. I think that I've closed it, but let's just say sign up for Yelp business account. And here we go, biz.yelp.
Yeah, with their essentials plans, correct.
Perfect. So if we scroll down, now I know Yelp makes a lot of money, especially with when you get reviews, you want to reply to reviews and things like that. You need access to features. But here's the free tools and the essential tools. And I think that's free for life. Is that right, Pat?
That's correct. So they give you the essentials for free. You're able to do those very basic functionalities. And when you're looking, basically when you're looking to turn it into a marketing tool, when you're looking to attract more customers, like they say, turn visitors into customers, that's the part where they're going to start charging you, because now they're bringing you, it's an investment that you're making. They have a strategy in place to turn your investment in Yelp into dollars for you. And that's basically what every business owner thinks about when they're looking to pay for something. They're seeing it as a business investment. Their money can go in a lot of different places, and they want to see if they spend the $50 here, how much business they could potentially attract. So their strategy is to get everybody in through the essentials, get you to claim your profile, get you to add some content, engage with the site. And then, of course, their marketing team goes to work and nurtures you and educates you, offers you free webinars, shows you some tips that some premium members are doing, gives you a couple case studies, and they slowly turn you onto these upgrades and advertising opportunities and educate you on those services.
You know, as I'm reading the features here, like upload photos, respond to reviews, even things like add a call to action button, I'm noticing a lot of similarities, and I didn't realize this before the webinar, but a lot of similarities between their features and Brilliant Directories. And let me just show you guys. If we go to manage products in the admin and we edit a membership level, we have additional settings like show social media links on the listing, show their website link, show their phone number. So you can mix and match different tools and features to make the freemium model still have value, but the paid version just becomes a no-brainer if you really want to churn business and drive business your way using the website. Even this one, the respond to member reviews, I think that's a feature here. Member can reply to reviews. So even with a multi-billion-dollar website with Yelp, you do get a few of the key features here with your Brilliant Directories website to help you create those tiered membership levels that make the freemium plan worth it and worthwhile signing up, but make the paid plans definitely have super high value. So that's one good example with Yelp. There's another one. Shopify is a great website if you want to create a dedicated e-commerce store. And let's just check out Shopify. I think they do a great job of creating what's called a frictionless sign-up experience. You essentially put your email address in and you start building your online store. And what they offer is a 14-day free trial as their freemium model. It's a freemium time period. And they let you sign up, in this case, with no credit card. So you can spend 14 days building your site, testing the product. Let's just put a sample email in here and see what the next step is. Okay, so now they want to do a password. That's fine. Oh, store name. Awesome Store 999. All right, that store name is available. So it looks like I'm going to go to the process of creating a store, and they're letting me know that it's a 14-day free trial here. So they've essentially acquired me as a user at this point, right, Pat?
Yes, they have. Now you've officially entered their funnel. As long as it's a real email, at that point, they've accomplished what they're hoping to accomplish here.
Awesome. So here's an example of a 14-day free trial. We can toggle out of Shopify. Then there was another one which was interesting, similar to Yelp. It was the Equid shopping cart, and I have that open here, Pat. Ecwid is similar to Shopify, or it lets you put a shopping cart on a third-party website, on your own website. Is that correct?
That's correct, and this is actually a really cool tool for anybody that's selling 10 plans or 10 products or less on their directory websites, and they want to have a storefront, so to speak. So this integrates with a lot of different payment processors, but they have an incredible embed tool. So it's really easy to add products to add a store, and you just put the embed code in a Brilliant Directories widget, and it works phenomenal with the Brilliant Directories platform.
Gotcha. So even if you're using one of the paid plans, so you're saying with Ecwid, you can you basically manage everything in the Ecwid interface, and then they give you embedding a YouTube video almost, and you put that on your website.
It's exactly, and the entire store is there. It's phenomenal. It's flawless, and then they even have the little shopping cart icon at the bottom, so you can add stuff to your bag. Again, this works really well if you're looking to have an official store with your directory where you're the owner and you control the products and services that you sell. And what I like about their model is they're not necessarily pay to play, meaning that you don't have to pay so you can start collecting money. They actually allow you to charge credit cards and connect to payment gateways because they understand that's the core functionality. But what they do is volume. So they say, hey, you can add this many products into the store, and as long as you don't have more than 10 products to sell, you're not going to have any issues. Yes, there's other really cool features if you upgrade to a paid plan, but the free feature, I actually use a couple different accounts of this product, and I've never upgraded to a paid plan. So they give enough quality for the free plan to be worth it, and I do like that. And it really gives their goal is to allow you to grow your store, and the end goal is to have a large store. So they want you to succeed. They want you to generate revenue. They make it easy to use the product. And as you grow, as revenue increases, or you look to add more functionality, then at that point you can move up to those paid tiers.
Yeah, I really like this. The main thing that they're limiting, besides some other bells and whistles, are how many products you can publish. So yeah, for small needs, this is great. Let's go back to Brilliant Directories. Some things that you can limit for your members are how many categories they can select. Sometimes if you have the add-on, how many additional locations they can select. And we're actually enhancing some things with the post publishing, but when members have the ability to publish coupons and events and articles, you can actually limit how many they can publish at a certain time. So there are some quantitative limits that you can put on a member's profile, and the goal here is they want more visibility. So if you put a limit on certain things and they want that on things that would eventually give them visibility, they'll eventually upgrade if they want additional visibility for those things that are being limited. So that's a good example of a forever free plan, and you still get enough to get you started and to get your feet wet without risking a monthly payment or anything like that. And then this one came up to us at the end as we were chatting, is Gmail. Let's see with a show of hands, who has a Gmail email account, if you raise your hand here. All right, see the hands going up quick. Blair and Barry and Brian, or maybe you have a Hotmail or a Yahoo account as well, if you want to raise your hand. So about 50% of us here are raising our hand. Well, the thing is, although Gmail is free, you have a free user account, but once you want to start using some of the enterprise features that they offer, that's when you start paying money. So you can have a business account, and they offer data storage and managing business email addresses and things of that nature. So after you've outgrown using Gmail for your personal use, or maybe you bootstrapped your business and you need to stop using jason@gmail.com and you need to start using jason@brilliantdirectories.com, that's when Gmail's enterprise features come into play. But having a free user account is how you get your feet wet and familiar with the platform for getting started. So there are freemium models all around us, and we may or may not realize that we're signing up for them as well. And I think this is the actionable slide where you guys can actually start thinking of value in a freemium model and what the next paid product would be to make paying for the product worthwhile. But Patrick and Rick actually put this list together, and I think it's pretty creative with creating some type of freemium plan or feel or model. Can you tell us a little bit about these, Pat?
So the first one is obviously the one that's most used, which is the free member listing. Oftentimes, the strategy that people utilize is limiting functionality. I see that the most, whether or not you can post a coupon, how many locations you can pick, how many categories you can pick. So basically, they offer a lifetime free membership level, and they restrict the features, similar to the Equid model that we just saw. So if that's something that you're doing, you're probably utilizing the most common strategy out there. It may not be my personal favorite, but again, it depends on the directory model, whether or not that's the right strategy to use. One that I really like is the first post is free. This in particular for when your directory focuses on one type of content. Let's say it's a coupons website, an events website, a classifieds website. You have a specific piece of content that dominates what your directory is about. When you make the landing page in the offer to try whatever the primary piece of content is, if the focus is around classifieds, it's easy for the end user, the eventual member, to understand why they should be joining your website. They're going to say, oh, well, I do want to post a job. And oh, my first job posting is free. You know what? I'm going to post a job and see if anybody applies. I'm going to experience the website by posting one for free. So I really like that model, particularly when it's a feature specific website.
Yeah, so we mentioned it in the previous webinar. We're coming out with the pay per post. I'm anticipating the early half of October, and what you'll be able to do is define how many free posts they get. Maybe they don't get any free posts, but you could set that to 1 or 2, and then the price they pay for posts after that. So I think that's going to be a new channel for revenue for everyone here. And then the first,
a lot of directory owners that are using that particular model. It's a bit of a manual process right now, so they are absolutely ecstatic that this is going to be automated now, and you're not going to have to move people from one membership level to the other in order to release more posts. So I think of all the features you could release, that's probably one of the most powerful ones that BD will be releasing.
I agree. I agree with that. The first month free is always a good one, or a free trial period. So what you can do is with the coupon codes add-on, you can give someone 100% off their first payment. So it could be the monthly payment or the yearly payment, but it will take the first payment down, discounted 100%, which in effect makes it $0. Or with the free trial period add-on, kind of like how we saw with Shopify, you can offer a certain amount of days to trial the service, and then the member will be charged if they don't cancel after those days. So you can set a trial period for 5 days, 7 days, 14, 21, 30 days. You can give 60 days free if you wanted to. You set the number. And during that trial period, you want to really make sure that they fall in love with the software, because once the trial period ends, that's when you would have had to convince them to make a purchase to upgrade to a paid plan. So you're buying yourself time to really demonstrate the value to the potential paying member. And then
and I know, Jason, I'm jumping to the last number here, number 6, but it's in line with what you're talking about, and that's why this is my personal favorite. Although there's a little bit of manual work that goes with it, a lot of people do a good job at giving them 1 month for free, or a 30-day free trial. But I think a lot of people on this webinar can relate. They get that person to sign up, but they're not delivering, right? What Jason has bolded there, your value must be greater than what the user gives you. So whenever you put a ticking clock on what it is they get and it's going to expire, you're basically telling the customer that you're confident that you'll prove the value in that time. Give me 30 days and I will show you. You will make money off of this in 30 days, or you will accomplish this in 30 days. So when you're offering the first lead for free, when your model is get the first lead for free, basically you're planting in their brain, 1, I'm going to make money with this site. Leads, customer, your first customer is free. Wow, who wouldn't want to sign up for that? That sounds a lot more enticing than the first month is free. My first new customer is free. Or the other thing it does too is it's not time based. For those of you that are starting out, don't add all that extra pressure of building an onboarding series, a webinar, making sure that you're driving leads, making sure that you're giving them the value. If you've just recently launched or you're launching soon, I love this first lead free, because if it takes 2 months, if it takes 3 months, however long it takes for you to give them the value that you're asking in return, you're basically guaranteeing you're going to deliver them something. And now me, as the directory owner, I'm motivated to get you that business. So I'm going to go on my social media page. I'm going to promote your post. I might even boost it, drive traffic to it, find out where your locality is, and target a specific geographical location. I'm going to go to work for you. The sooner I can get you that lead or that new customer, the sooner I've proven the value. And since it's not time-based, I can upgrade you. I can call you and move you up to the premium level and see if you'd like to continue with your account and continue receiving more business from us. So I'm sorry for jumping ahead, but I thought that was the perfect time to introduce that one.
Are you kidding me? I think that is one of the that's one of the best ones on the list, because the other ones are basically letting them try the service. Number 6 is, look, I'm going to give you business. I'm going to give something that's going to actually make you money. So definitely number 6, I think, is one to highlight. And basically what you can do is, for your free membership levels, people who sign up for free, just make the lead price $0. And after you notice they've received a couple leads from you, go ahead and call them and tell them it's time to upgrade to the paid member. Do you like what our site is doing for you? And that's the manual process, is seeing who got a free lead, maybe following up with them with an email or a phone call, and then seeing if you can upgrade them to a paid plan. But giving them business is the most valuable thing you can do for a company or an individual.
Exactly, and Sal just wrote a comment saying it's all about the traffic that's coming to their listing, and he's right. When you go the first month free or the free trial, if your directory's not getting a lot of organic traffic, if there's not going to be organic leads, you're fighting an uphill battle to hope to cross your fingers that they signed up and they're going to get something in return. But if you actively try to generate leads for your members that sign up, and that's the cutoff point, is when they get that first lead or that first customer, you as a directory owner, you're going to be a lot more motivated as well. Especially if you're starting out, right? You have to hustle.
Yeah.
You have to hustle. You have to make phone calls. You have to work for your customers.
Yeah, I think that's a good, like, for example, Shopify is established. They can do the 14-day free trial and cut you off if you don't sign up at that point. They have, thousands and millions of people using their service. But if you're starting out, cutting them off after 30 days might not be the best business model, a freemium model for you at that particular stage. What I want to do is I want to take it to the attendees here. I'm going to lower everyone's hands. If you have questions about how one of these 6 work, or if you're using one of these 6 on your website, we'd love to take a look, maybe provide some additional tips for you. So if you have questions about these 6 tips, these strategies, let me unmute Vincent here. How are you, Vince?
Good. How are you?
Excellent. How are you today? You're in Houston, right?
I'm in Dallas.
Sorry.
Dallas, Fort Worth.
Sorry. How you doing today?
Good. I absolutely love your sites. I've got this parts site in Dallas that is generating leads. I just cannot get the parts people to sign up and buy the leads. You have any ideas?
Yeah, can we take a look at your site? Let's
see.
see.
OEM Parts Dallas.
OEM Parts Dallas. All right, just give me a second here. So you're able to get leads from consumers who need car parts, but you're not able to get the suppliers to join.
All right. It's there's 2 types of suppliers. There's like the Ford dealerships where the parts guy who's getting the lead has no ability to make a decision, and then there's the small kind of auto wrecking brokers who are also, they'll try to find the part for the customer. I get a lot of calls for discontinued parts.
Gotcha. So in this, I'm not too familiar with this industry. So let's use Acura as an example. Who would the suppliers be? Like, let's say for a steering wheel or like a car seat?
Or just like any part. And again, people search under 2 things. They search under OEM part, which is like a new part, and you have to get that from the manufacturer.
Okay.
Then they tend to be expensive. So then there is, used parts or aftermarket parts. that people often want a price from the the real Acura dealer, but then they want a used part price. And
So where are these?
I mean, I'm getting hundreds of phone calls. I'm sick of the phone calls.
Wow.
I'm sick of people calling me.
So where are these suppliers currently advertising? Where are they getting customers right now? Are they people buying from them directly? How are people finding them?
Well, there is some companies that
More
have
importantly,
signed up all these.
Let me interrupt you. Do they sell directly to consumers? Another question.
Yes,
They do.
absolutely.
Okay. So where?
And one more question, just for fact finding purposes. I'm just looking here, and I'm seeing hundreds of leads coming in through your get match form, and none of them are being matched to any members. Is there a reason why none of your? Because I'm seeing hundreds.
How do I don't know. How do I send those to the different, like, let's say a Toyota lead comes in.
These look like great leads, and that might be one reason why they're not buying them if they're not being matched to your members. They look like phenomenal leads. They're all very specific to exact parts and car makes, and looks like you said, it's doing a great job of generating those leads, which is the biggest challenge for most directory websites. That's something to celebrate. But yeah, I was just curious while Jason is assessing your strategy here.
Okay.
Right, and then there's lots more that call.
Automatic lead matching is turned off.
But I don't have anybody that has agreed to pay.
Got you. So who are the members who have joined your site? These
I
3,000.
Yeah, I built. Those are the different people that either have an auto repair facility or a collision facility that would need parts. So there's two people involved here. There's the person that wants the parts, which obviously the system has worked perfect for that. But now I'm having a problem with how do I get the person to say, okay, I'll buy the part, leads or whatever.
Okay. I've had a few people starting out with similar challenges, and what they do is they just have the leads go out as paid leads, and they send it out to a very large volume of providers that are in there. So if you have 3,000 members, you can send it out to 100 people and see if anybody buys them, have them indicate an interest. When they can see the exact part that they're selling, right, and saying, yeah, I want to buy that lead, that's worth it. You can, in the email template, let them know that if they buy the lead, they're going to be the only one that gets the lead, and it's exclusive to them, and they're not going to have any competition. So basically, if they want to make that sale, they can purchase it. That's one option that you might want to look at.
And let's circle back to the theme of the freemium model here. So these are your plans for the suppliers, right? $10 per month, et cetera, et cetera.
Right, and what generally happens is people, this is the model kind of that you do, but basically, different companies have called me and said, look, we want those leads, and now they want all the leads, and they just pay a flat monthly fee to get all the leads first or whatever. So I have been able to, pick up a few clients on a temporary basis, but the parts are from all different parts, and like the Toyota guy only wants Toyota stuff, and
Gotcha.
the Acura guy only wants Acura stuff. You see, but then the brokers and the wreckers, they want all the leads.
Okay. So what I would recommend is this, because it seems like the suppliers are the ones who are going to pay you money as far as for the leads right now. Very simply, the Get Listed Today button, and I know you service automotive repair shops, but I would put parts suppliers, I would say join our network free or something like that.
Okay.
At the top. Can I update that real quick?
Yeah. I'm all open. I am just shocked at how well this works. It's just, unfortunately, it was a lot harder to kind of line up the clients than I thought there would be.
So we could do parts suppliers. You could just say join our network, or we'll just keep it like that. We can play with the words a little bit more, but what you're doing is first now you're targeting the parts suppliers. Now you know that you want them to sign up to your site.
Yeah, and I could turn off that automotive repair shop thing and just concentrate on trying to find people that want a parts lead. That seems to be the site produces leads. Not only does it produce them in Dallas, it's producing them across America.
Right. So I'm going to revert back to something we did on our interior design demo site. We've used this example. It's just a dummy site we've made for demonstration purposes. What we've done is we have this landing page in our documentation area. We basically create a simple landing page with some benefits of why, it just says generic, this is a great reason to join our site, of why parts suppliers should join your website. So get exclusive access to hot buyer leads, or whatever you want to call it. And then what you do is you send them directly to your free sign up page.
Okay,
and you get them registered. So you basically have one page that gets them excited and motivated. And then instead of showing them 3 plans, get them into the free sign up and just get them registered in your system. And you can figure out
that's a great idea.
You can figure out what to do with them after they're registered, whether you want to charge them for leads or give them, let's go back to the slides. If you want to give them their first leads for free, just give them some leads and then say, okay, now you guys got to pay for leads because you got 5 for free. But what you want to do is, as we mentioned, is open up that top funnel and make the sign up process frictionless for your potential members. So you can get them signed up for free, and after they sign up for free, this could be something that they see later on in their journey of working with your service. Okay. So yeah, I want to ask a favor from Rick. If you can look up the landing page that we have for this. I know it's in the documentation, and we can share a link in the chat here. I'll put a link to this sample join page here in the chat.
So this is what you would do. You would change that sign up to this, and then they would just sign up for free.
Exactly. And what I would do is, let's just check out your membership plans here. Do you have a free option right now? Yeah, you got this. You got a free account. So let's just go to the sign up page. What you want to do is you want to name it something clever, like instead of saying all this stuff, you could say like registered.
Get part lead. Yeah.
Registered, something to that effect. Register to receive auto. Just make that the name of the membership level. And that's what they'll see when they come to the sign up page, and it's kind of gives them instructions and also gets them excited about filling out this form a lot more than create account does. So again, just by changing some simple text around, you can make the sign up process more appealing to potential and prospective members. All right. Thank you, Rick. Yep, I see. Yeah, you guys should see a link in the chat there. It's if you want to recreate this join page, we have some simple instructions that you can follow to get something to this effect on your own website. So thank you, Vince, for sharing your site there.
Thank you.
Yeah, and something else just to add on top of that people don't really take into consideration, when you're offering the free lead, like right now we just looked at hundreds of leads that Vincent's lost hope and he's not even matching anymore, right? Because they're not willing to pay for the leads. That's 100. Your customers' customers are your customers, right? Those users that came to your website and filled out that lead, they're experiencing your website. And if they're not getting contacted with anybody, if they're not getting any sort of results, if nobody's reaching out to them, they're definitely not coming back to your website. They're not going to share it with their friends. They're not going to say, man, I went to this site, check it out. I found this part. I couldn't find it anywhere else. So if you're giving the initial leads for free with such a large amount of members in your database, at least your end users, the ones submitting the forms, they're getting some replies, they're getting a good user experience. And then the idea is that you cut off the freemium model at some point and you find out which ones are willing to pay, and they should be more willing to pay if their experience was a good one. And worst case scenario, you're going to get on the phone with them and they're going to say, hey, it didn't really turn out into a sale, this and this is happening. And then guess what you can do? You can use that feedback and you can improve your process. You say, okay, I'm going to redo my category structure. And it's going to be by membership level. It's going to be by the type of car, if it's Honda or Ford, and you sign up for the Honda or you sign up for the Ford, and the leads are just going to go to that one car make. Maybe that's what I'm going to do based on the feedback I'm getting, and you make an adjustment, because building a business is about getting feedback, making adjustments, throwing it back out there, collecting more feedback, and improving the process. But if you're not matching the leads and using this freemium model to at least start all that entire process, then it's unlikely to see improvements.
And there's something to say about giving away free stuff. Early times when someone is starting a new project, they're already counting the potential money in their head. And everything is about, where can I charge for this and where can I charge for that? There's an inherent value to creating a free marketplace for a period of time, and exactly what you said, providing people with a good experience. So as you mentioned on Vince's site right now, those people who submitted leads didn't get matched with parts suppliers, so they in effect had a bad experience. So there's something to say, and there's something to be gained from creating a free experience that leads to a good experience for potential customers, because it makes your brand useful or your service useful, even if you're offering the service for free. So thank you, Vince, for sharing that, and very true statements what you're saying there, Pat. Thank you. All right, let's continue on. If you haven't already done so, think about ways where you could add a freemium model to your website. It'll help do a lot of the heavy lifting and work for you. And I just wanted to mention this one more time, just shifting gears a bit. Last webinar, we gave a free ebook out, and it's 125 blog article ideas that you can write for your city directory or really any online directory. And it talks about the value of publishing good shareable content, and it gets the juices flowing on some ideas that you can write for your specific area or industry that you're serving. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/125-ideas, and it should take you to the page where you can download the free ebook. The only reason I'm mentioning it is I got a lot of great feedback from everyone about this, and I saw some great articles that were written that were inspired from the recommendations in this ebook. So I think it'll be super helpful for you guys if in case you missed it in the last webinar. All right, and we have a showcase winner today, and I think an all-star with the Brilliant Directories community and platform altogether. Esther, you are our showcase winner. Let me unmute your microphone here. All right, you with us, Esther? How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you for joining with us and allowing us to showcase your website today.
Oh, thank you.
Now, I know just in things that you've mentioned in the Facebook group, this was an existing community that you had, correct? And and you migrated to the Brilliant Directories platform?
Yeah, so I started my company actually 10 years ago, and it was kind of like a hobby that grew into a business. And I've gone through a lot of different website platforms. And just recently I switched to Brilliant Directories. And so far it's like way better than what I had most recently, which cost me like 3 times as much.
Awesome. That's great. Well, the site looks nice and clean. You're serving the St. Petersburg, Florida area?
Yes.
Got you. And you're doing something unique. You're not just listing all businesses. You're listing like mom and pop and small businesses, like not corporate businesses on the site. Is that right?
Right. So they all need to be based in the St. Petersburg area.
Gotcha. What inspired this idea for you to have a focus of that on your site?
Well, I started because I just like personally I like shopping at local businesses because I used to live in Fort Lauderdale, and when I first moved there were like a ton of little local businesses, and by the time I left it had changed so much. It was all like all the chain stores, and the whole vibe was very different. So when I moved to St. Pete, I loved that it still had the mom and pop vibe. And at the time I was working at a local newspaper, and when my parents would visit me and I was at work, they would always just go to the mall. So I would get home and I'm like, hey, what'd you guys do? And they're like, oh, we went to the mall, because they're like, we don't know where the cool local shops are. So they
Right.
just go where it's easy. So they want. So
Gotcha.
I started making a list on a piece of paper, and then I put the list on Facebook, and when Facebook was first getting started, and it just all kind of grew from there. Like when I started, I wasn't thinking of building anything. It just kind of happened.
And do you have a relationship with some of the businesses that are part of your website? Like, do you know them by first name basis and things like that?
Yeah. Most of them I know them pretty well. We have monthly networking meetings. We do a lot of events. We have big festivals that we do. So it's not like my goal is not to have like 20 billion members. It's to have a close community. But then I want to have it. That's why I added the free listings I didn't have before. Because I want the directory to make it easy for consumers to find whatever they need. But as far as my paid members, I would rather have fewer who are more active and participate in more of our things.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally makes it. Just being on this website, I feel like I'm already part of the St. Petersburg community. You see smiley faces, you see crafty images, and things like that. What would you say was one of the biggest hurdles when first registering new businesses in this directory?
You mean on the Brilliant Direct?
No, since you started, like when
In
you
general?
had to pitch businesses to join your directory list or whatever list you were creating, was it very straightforward, or did you have to, were they scratching their heads?
No, so because when I started, like I wasn't really thinking business, and I had like another job, so I wasn't really concerned about money or anything. So it was more just kind of being out there talking to people, and then other businesses would refer each other. So it really grew very organically. Like we didn't have like
That's awesome.
really sales pitches or anything.
So
and we started doing a lot of events. Like we participated in a lot of events, like other people's events, like community festivals, and we also organized a lot of ours.
That's
So
fantastic.
a lot of times people would join because they want to be a part of our events. They want to be a vendor at like one of our events.
That's fantastic. So based on what you're saying is when you first started out, you were just asking people if they wanted to participate for free. Is that right? If they just, or were you charging from the start?
Yeah. No, in the very beginning it was free, and then I added paid options.
Gotcha.
And then I took away the free because the problem I was having is that a lot of that was during the recession here, and a lot of businesses were going out of business. So a lot of my free listings were outdated. You know.
Right.
They wouldn't, they closed. They don't think, oh, I'm gonna go, close my accounts. So I decided to stop offering free listings. But now now I have the resources that I can, hire somebody to like follow up with all the free people, like maybe every 6 months, to make sure they're still in business. So now I'm adding free listings again.
Yeah, I think like I get the feel that your site is established. I like that you're using free options around your site. And normally my recommendation when a site is first starting out is to limit how many membership levels they have. But in your case, because I even feel that it's established, I can actually, and it's very clearly written some of the benefits here. And it's not just like, it's things that actually matter to a business. So I think although you have 4 membership levels, it's the price points are nice, and you've laid out everything really well. And I actually feel comfortable browsing this page and taking my time to decide which one I want to choose. So I want to commend you on that with this nice pricing page here.
Oh, thank you.
I had one technical recommendation for you that I wanted to give you a helping hand with, and I think it's good advice for everyone here that's listening today. I did a quick speed check on your homepage, and I noticed that the page size is 18 megabytes. So there's 18 megabytes of data that needs to download before the page is completed rendering. Normally, a good page size would be 1 to 3 megabytes, including all the images. And the images are the ones that take up the most space. So if I wanted to maybe just update 1 or 2 of your images and show you how you can optimize it, I think that would be good for everyone here as well. So you want to help make sure the page size is lower. And the main value is not really your desktop at-home computer users, but people who are on their mobile phones. And also Google is giving more value to websites that load quicker and that are more mobile friendly as well. And that includes the size of the images and things like that. So can I show you a couple
Oh, sure.
recommendations that I would have for that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, great. So I noticed that you're using the category images here. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so if we go to member categories, and these are the images here. You have 6 of them. So let's just see what sizes are actually rendering here. Let's look at the view image info. So we're actually loading an image. The image is 3,000 pixels wide, but it's being resized about 10% of that to 360. So it says this 3 megabytes just for this image. So what I'm going to do is actually download this image and make it the size that is being rendered on the page, which is 360 pixels. Let's just download. Okay. I'm just gonna copy this image, and I opened up Photoshop beforehand. If you guys don't have Photoshop, there are. I'm just a little finicky here. Okay, copy image. Okay, so big image here, and I'm going to change the image size to 360 pixels, and so this is basically what's being loaded there. I see that you added white space to account for the toggle here, but
yeah.
I don't. The image gets stretched to fit the area, so I'm just gonna get rid of that area.
Oh, okay.
Of the image. It should still have the same effect. So let me just crop this one image and let me save it. And generally, there's different photo qualities. If you're using Photoshop, or there's tons of free tools to crop images and things like that. You really don't need the maximum level. Your eyes can't see the difference. It just takes up more. But very high, or about 80% quality is good enough when you're rendering things on mobile phones and desktops. So let me just save this image here. And let's see what you called this image. Arts and crafts. Let's call it the same thing. And we'll save that image. Now here's where I want to do something interesting. I found this image optimizer tool that can actually, I'm going to share the link here. You can upload an image here and it will actually compress it even further. Now, for those of you that want to nerd out and try to minimize the size of your images on your homepage, you might want to use this tool. I'm just going to share this link here in the chat. I don't think it's necessary if you're already saving your image at a normal quality, like 80% or 70%. But if you wanted to nerd out a bit, you could do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm still going to choose the highest file size here. This is a JPEG, and I'm just going to choose the artist folder here, and it's going to optimize that image for me. And let's just give that a second, and that's done now. So that one took, that was 61 before, it made it down to 51. So let's save that. So what I want to do now is actually change this photo here. And then I just want to do one more photo on your site, Esther. It's the background photo, the super wide one, this one. And because that one is actually the biggest image on your entire homepage. So let me upload this image here. And we'll go back. And we'll select this image here. And we'll save the changes. Okay, great. And let me just do this last image here. View background image. So this is the image that's on your home page. If we zoom in, it's a pretty huge image. No one's going to really need the image to be this large. So let me download this image. And I'll open it with Photoshop, and I'll do something similar. For a wide image like this, you really just need it to be about 2,000 pixels wide. So let's see what it is right now. It's about 7,500. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, we want to keep the height. The height is fine on that. I'm going to make it 2000. And just going to shrink it down a bit, and then I'm going to fit it. Oh, excuse me, I did the wrong thing. I take everything back. Let me minimize this. What I want to do is change the canvas size, excuse me. Okay, great. Let me just see one thing here. I'll make sure it still looks good on your site. Okay. Sorry to be so finicky with this. Just want to make sure we do a good job for you.
Thanks.
I'm going to increase it just a little bit. It's such a wide image, and I want to get some of the important parts of it. Normally, I would go like 2,000 by 800, something like that. But I'll keep it like this. No, I'm still not getting what I want here. I want to get some of these trees here for you. Okay, I'm going to go against my better judgment. I just want to shrink down the image a bit, and we'll go ahead and save that. Just going to do this. The height I'm going to bring down to 700. There we go. All right.
So, like, how do we know what size to save everything as?
So with a background image like this, it's a little bit of trial and error because you see the image is getting cut off a bit to fit the screen. Mm-hmm. For these images, it's pretty straightforward. If you just right-click on an image and click on View Image Info, it'll tell you if it's being scaled down. So now we can see that this one is not being scaled down. It's the actual dimensions. Let's look at the other one here. This one's being scaled down from 3,000 down to 360. And also another thing, when you're scaling your images up or down, they might have a tendency to become blurry. So when you put the exact size that it should be, you're reducing the chance of having blurry images, whether they're being stretched or shrunken down.
They should all be the 360 by 288.
For these ones, yeah. So I'll leave those ones up to you. And then I just want to change this background image, and let me use the image optimizer again for this new background image. And then we'll add it to your site. I'll go to your design settings. And what I want to do is run the pingdom test again and see how much the page size has gone down. Okay, and we'll save the changes. Like the cropping I was doing, it's a little trial and error on yours, and it's going to be different on different screens. But generally 2000 is a good width for your background homepage image. So let's go to Pingdom now, and let's run this test again. Let's open this in a new tab. And I'll just start a new test. This should just take a moment. And this is really important because if you're uploading images to your site and they have really large file sizes, it's going to take a long time to load on mobile devices. So we've cut down your page size by about 30% just by updating those two images. It went from 18 to 12. That's why I wanted to do that background image, because I knew it was one of the larger images on your site. 12 megabytes. And let's actually look at what the image looks like. Let me refresh the page. So this is with the new image, and this is with the old image. So what you could do is you could play around with it. Maybe you want to cut the tree off more here and show more of the left side. But you can play with it, and you could figure out the right positioning for the bikers and things like that. But basically, all you need to do is crop it a certain way. But that's gonna help your search engine rankings and provide a better and you're gonna get better experience from your users visiting the site.
So what about like when our users add photos?
So so that's a good question. So like when people are publishing events, our system automatically optimizes it. So these images are, this is just, see, it's not showing that it's being scaled down. It's the correct image size. And it's 42 kilobytes. So a good rule of thumb is you want to try to get images as low as possible, but definitely you want your images under 100 kilobytes, not megabytes, kilobytes, even your larger images. So here are some images you're using here. This one's being scaled to fit the slider, but not actually. It looks like it's using the thumbnail version of your site. So you want to make sure you're uploading images that are at least 764 by 400, the ones that are using in the slider here. So these are being stretched to fill the space, although they're smaller. So you want to make sure you're uploading this image size here, 764 by 400. For the slider images here, and I think when you're adding images to the slider, we do recommend that as the image size when you're creating a new featured article post here.
Okay.
Pat, do you have any final feedback or anything for Esther?
I think that when you say it's good for SEO, it's because Google, one of the things that they care about the most is how fast your site loads. Because if they send somebody to your website, they want it to load in 2 seconds or less, ideally. They're very, very picky because they're all about delivering the best user experience on Google. So if they see that your homepage is 18 megabytes and it's taking 4 seconds to load and it's your homepage, you kind of get a lot of negative points. And when somebody does a Google search, even though you would normally be ranking for organic because your SEO is good, your content's good, your website's good, the amount of users is good, but if your website's loading too slow because the images are too large, that can start hurting those organic results because Google's not going to want to publish your site as one of the top results. So there's a lot of benefits, especially because your site is matured. You have a lot of users, you have a lot of great content. The type of optimization that Jason's doing now is the type of optimization you should be focusing on, which is just doing slight improvements to improve those overall scores.
Okay. And what did you say, like optimal loading time is?
The SEO optimization?
For loading time, like what is considered good?
It's under 3.
Well,
go ahead, Pat.
Yeah, under 3. Yeah, it could be between 2 and 3 depending on how much content is on there. Anything under 2 is phenomenal. Right now, Pingdom has yet 2, which is pretty good. And I'm assuming if you keep reducing the rest of those images, you're going to be under 2, which should be lightning fast.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
All right, Esther. Well, thank you for sharing your site with us. I just did one small change here. I centered the bikers here, so they shouldn't be covered by the text. There you go.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that looks nice.
So that looks really nice. You still got all the palm trees. Everyone wants to visit St. Petersburg, Florida now. If you're looking for places to shop, you know where to go now, guys.
Thank you.
Great work, Esther.
And thanks to Patrick for all the work you've done on my site.
Hey, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right, good stuff there from Esther. It's great to see an established organization. In her case, she migrated her site from several other platforms and finally landed on Brilliant Directories. It looks like it's working well for her. Hope she sticks around with us for a while. And to be honest, guys, she's kept it very simple. A lot of people, and I want to mention this, they go for our all-in-one directory theme, which is basically our demo showing you all the different types of content you can post. But it's a catch-22. When you add coupons, jobs, all the galleries, photos, videos, audios, property listings, you're tripling, quadrupling the amount of work you need to do to fill those different areas of your site. What's really nice, if you want to choose 2, 3, or 4 features to have on your site, in her case, she has the local businesses, events, and news. Of as far as content that you can search, and there's some more stuff, but that's what's being highlighted and featured here, and she's able to add a lot of high value to those areas of her site rather than spreading herself thin and having to fill content in all sorts of different places of her site. So again, I want to commend you on the way you've structured the navigation of your site, you're offering to your members, and also the value you're bringing to your community. So I applaud you, Esther. Very good job on this.
Also, I'll add one more little detail. Another thing that I really love, and this is good advice for anybody that's starting their first online business. So let's say you're getting out there and you're saying, I'd like to run a directory. I'm going to give it a shot. I'd like to have just like Esther, it started small and it turned into a business, which is what a lot of us are hoping we can do with our online directory. And what she did is she started local, right? She's in the local area. She got to know the local business owners. And a lot of people get started, they want a national directory or they want an international directory. And it's definitely possible, but if you're doing it on the side, part-time, and you want to be a global or a national directory, it's a more challenging task. It can be done, but it's definitely going to be an uphill battle if you have limited resources and it's your first time trying it out. I love taking the local approach, getting your feet wet, talking to business owners, doing live demos, getting feedback, and growing a small community, succeeding at that. And I've seen some people franchise it out. So basically they get people to run different local directories. And I've had people actually just launch a second directory and a third directory and manage those directories. But experiencing a success out of the gates by going small and focusing on your locality is definitely a fantastic approach for those of us that are starting out for the first time.
I think that's sound advice, and we covered that a lot in last webinar with when David was on with me there. So good themes that are recurring and resonating with looking at these directory websites. All right. If you guys liked what you saw and you'd like your site showcased in the next webinar, maybe it's ready to launch, maybe you're still working on it, we'd love to take a look at it and showcase your site in the next webinar. Go ahead and take a second right now and email events@brilliantdirectories.com. We'll notify you before the next webinar if you've been chosen, and we'll also feature you on our Facebook page. So if you'd like your site featured and showcased in the next webinar, just take a second right now to email events@brilliantdirectories.com, and please make sure you include a link of your website's URL in that email. Thanks, guys. All right. Now the floor is yours. We're here to answer your questions, Patrick, Rick, and I. So I'm going to lower everyone's hands. If you guys have questions, we can unmute your microphone. If you don't have a microphone, you can chat in your questions, and we'll be looking at that and reviewing the chat, and we'll read your question out loud. All right, let's go to our good friend Sal here. Sal, I'm trying to unmute your microphone, but it says that you've self-muted your own microphone.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. How are you, Sal?
Not too bad. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. How was the webinar
That's
today
good.
for you so far?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. There's not many that I miss, so I enjoy most of them. But we struggle to get new, or should I say, to get people to pay. You know, we have we have to be national because we're the SME Association of Australia, and we have, you know, quite a lot of listings. A lot of them are claim listings, but we receive about 100 new free listings a week. And the thing is, the challenge that we have, it is a challenge, but it's also an opportunity later too, is that we're a not-for-profit, so it's not. I'm the only one that's working full-time in here. We get $10,000 a month from Google for free AdWords, and we still can't make this pay.
Gotcha. So I see what you're saying. So the good news is that people see value in listing on your site. So you get a lot of high traffic. I'm going to share a workshop video that I did. It's another webinar, but it's basically how to create. I'm going to share this link with everyone actually. These are hour to 2 hour long webinars that we did on specific topics. So proven ways to convert website visitors into paying members. Tons of value in that webinar. I like this one, creating awesome content to boost website traffic. It also talks about how to create value propositions on your website to make signing up and for a free or paid account appealing, mainly for a paid account. I'm going to share this link with you, Sal, and everyone in the chat. Check out these premium webinars here. And the way I got here, in case you want to know, is I went to the Brilliant Directories website. Under the community dropdown, we have our free workshop videos, including all of these webinars. So the webinar Wednesdays are all in the first tab here, and they go all the way down to 46. But in the second tab are the premium workshops. They're free to watch. I'll just click on one right now. And they also include strategy guides. You can download the PDF, the PDF slides. There's some worksheets, so you can do some homework. But Sal, I'm going to recommend watching some of those videos in your free time. And I'm pretty confident that you'll be able to pull some ideas on how to convert this good traffic that you're getting into something meaningful as far as revenue for you. So thank you, Sal, for sharing your site with us.
And I'm just going to add one more tip that just came to my mind, Jason. And what Sal has is credibility. It takes time to get that credibility. I know we talked about turning off the freemium model. I think perhaps what he might want to try is to convert the pricing page into an application process. Say, listen, we're the nonprofit organization. We represent 3,800 businesses. Here are the benefits that you get. But in order to join our network, you must apply. And it's a form that starts a funnel that would basically educate them on the benefits so that he can nurture them and explain why they want to join and pay. And again, just have that paid membership plan moving forward. But since he is a nonprofit and he seems to be a credible association, business owners will see an application process, right? Saying, hey, I need to apply to join. I'm curious to see if they're going to accept me. Just that mental edge of seeing that they're accepted or not. Will have them opening up that next email that you send them and saying, good news, we reviewed your application, everything looks good, there's just one missing step, you need to pay this fee to join, and again, you get all of these different benefits. I've seen that work well in similar situations, and I think if I were to recommend one strategy that's kind of a short strategy to implement, I'd probably give that one a shot if I were Sal.
Yeah, whatever the Better Business Bureau does, you might be able to pull some notes from what they do as far as a business model. I know they have reviews and complaints about businesses as well, and businesses are keen to sign up and pay to take care of those reviews and complaints that they might be receiving. So again, that's another model that you might want to approach or pivot towards, because the Better Business Bureau kind of, I know you guys are different, but it's kind of reminds me of what you guys are doing as well. All right, let's take a couple more questions here. Doing good on time. All right, Brian. Brian, I've unmuted your microphone. How you doing?
Oh, hi. Are you talking to? Sorry, I'm doing great, and what we've learned today is awesome, and I can't wait to get my my website up. It's been years in the making, but we're getting closer. Well, the thing was, we're busy in my existing business, and I've actually got my daughter here, and we're starting to work full time on the business directory. So I'm really excited. And yeah, you've inspired me again, and it's been in the background, but my existing business has been pretty hectic. I just haven't had the time. So we're about to, as I said, work full time on it. Excellent. So we'll be in contact with support.
Okay, we'll be waiting for you. Do you have any questions for us today?
I've just got to go back to square one. Gotcha. And just start to reorientate myself. I'm my daughter and I are just sort of sitting here watching it, going, good. This was a great first immersion. I listened to some of these a year ago, but the time's now, and so we're about to get stuck into it. So I guess we just have to go step by step, and then just start the process of building. So what my conclusion was is that we were just going to start building some content as a starting point, just get a bit of a structure going and start building content, and then one by one, add customers. And that's what we're up to.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing. I wish you the best of luck on your journey. It's great that you've kind of reignited this idea, and I hope to see you in the future webinars with some of your progress, Brian.
Oh, you will. We're excited for it.
Awesome. Have a great day. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, good stuff there getting started. My only piece of advice always is try to keep things simple Try to use the built-in features. Try not to get too elaborate with letting your mind go into the imagination of the possibilities. Get a working model online quickly, get users to sign up and participate in your community. And that's the best way to, number one, feel good about the work that you're putting into your site, but also see steady and stable growth over time. There's nothing worse than starting a large customization and you don't even know how you even ended up there. And 6 months later, thousands of dollars, you don't even know where you're at, and everyone is frustrated. So keep it simple and work within the parameters. They're there for a reason to guide you. All right, guys, we'll cut it there. Thank you so much for joining us for another action-packed and fun-filled Webinar Wednesday. Lots of good information here. Let's just backtrack a little bit about what we covered here today. If you'd like your site showcased in the next webinar, go ahead and take a moment and email events@brilliantdirectories.com. We'll notify you prior to the webinar if your site has been selected. And a big thank you to Esther for sharing her beautiful site, localshops1.com. Commend you and applaud you for the work that you've done serving the community. It's your true value, and the work you've done migrating to Brilliant Directories, that's not an easy task coming from another platform, especially when you're established. So you've done a wonderful job, and I just want to applaud you for that. Don't forget to download our special ebook. It's adding tremendous value for people looking for ideas on content to post on their site that's going to attract visitors to your site. You want to attract people to your site, and you're battling against your competition. So go to brilliantdirectories.com/125-ideas, and you can download the ebook free. And just to backtrack, the value of a freemium model. And hey, you know what? We talked about the value of not having a freemium model today too. So it really depends on the stage that your business is in and what your business model is, and also the industry that you're serving. So there's lots of considerations, but hopefully this adds some value to those of you out there. And lastly, if you haven't already done so, please take a moment to join our Facebook group. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook. We can continue the conversation there together. So on behalf of myself, Jason, thank you so much, Rick, for joining us today, and Patrick for all your help. We want to wish you the best of luck with your directory websites, and the next webinar will be in 2 weeks. Thank you so much, guys. We hope to see you there soon.
All right, have a brilliant day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.